Okay, so some minor lineup changes here, but nothing really earth-shattering or, I don't want to say innovative because that's not fair, but nothing unexpected, let's say.
No, I mean that's not from these teams with their wealth of experience. I would kind of expect a more, in inverted commas, boring lineup. I think they're more likely to go for the meta, what I would think of as the meta picks rather than
Right.
something fancy. But the point system does make it kind of interesting.
Well,
Okay, so
take us through the
Penta.
Penta lineup. Yeah, what do you got?
So Penta on the north here. They have Venezia, Zhao, Nevsky, Stalingrad, Gearing, Kleber, Halland. So Marcello Pello swapping the Marceau for a Kleber, which is really interesting because what that says to me is Torp Rush. Because you don't take a Marceau planning to do a Torp Rush because its Torps are terrible. Kleber has the better Torps for doing Torp Rushes, so that says Rush to me. So they're planning to rush something.
Come on a safari with me.
What about OHBOY?
Stay alive.
Opposing them from the south spawn, OHBOY fielding, well, a very similar lineup with a couple of small changes. They're fielding an Henri Venezia instead of the Zhao Venezia, also bringing a Nevsky and a Stalingrad. They're fronting things, Gearing, Delny, and Holland. So their speedy destroyer in the Delny is headed north, and then the Holland, both speed boosting, heading south there. The Henri, I really like that pick on this map. I'm curious to see what they get out of that ship because tiers, of course, there's a lot of open space on tiers and a lot of movement between caps. We saw that yesterday. The game that we covered between KSC and III, a lot of chips moving around to cover the size of the map.
Initially here, we're seeing quite an asymmetrical distribution. So we've got a big blob from Penta going over towards A. You've got Venezia, Nevsky, Stalingrad, Gearing, Kleber against only 3 ships. Oof. And on the other side, you've got the 4 ships of OHBOY pushing the 2 ships of Penta. So we're going to see a very rotational map here, potentially, unless Penta turn back to counter the push.
I gotta say, if I feel like OHBOY up north is walking into a little bit of a trap with the Gearing Nevsky smoke against this sort of a push, because the Gearing and the Delny can probably escape this, but I'm not convinced the Nevsky can on this map.
Well, we'll see. The OHBOY Gearing has started that smoke screen. That's a little bit further to the west than I would expect normally. I'd expect it to be a little bit more aggressive than that. But
he's got enough range to cover the cap. They've picked up Marcello now with taking some early hits.
The Kleber and the Delny are just spotting each other over open water. Basti's going to be in trouble here. There's a lot of incoming because there's simply more guns on the Penta side of the
Indeed. They can absolutely see the Kleber, the Venezia, and the Stalingrad. They're not able to see the Nevsky or Vilex's Gearing, but I mean, they can see the shells coming out of smoke. They know what it means.
Matchmaking in the Nevsky, timing it so that the Hydro comes up when they're expecting the torpedoes to be starting to arrive. You don't want to waste any time on that Hydro.
Delny finally going dark here. Basti sneaking away on a little below half.
Delny does get a heal, but it's not going to come back for a minute or so. Gearing is going to have to dodge that torp. I think we're going to be okay. Yep. So Marcello has managed to get all the way up into that top corner. That's going to limit the ability of these 2 destroyers to be any more aggressive. But they don't want to be aggressive, I think, here, because there's too many ships against them.
Now, on the south side, OHBOY has not been idle. They've got a nice push going here. Everybody full speed. Nobody's really slowed down. YOLO
Venezia's about to have an interesting time, though.
He's got some torps laid out in front of him, but he's seems to have sensed them or picked them up. He might take 1. Yeah, just 1. And they're Holland.
That's a Holland torp. Yeah, not too much damage.
Nah, tickles a little bit.
It's more the fact that they slow you down, maybe self-flood.
The bigger salvo, the Zhao torps look like they're headed out for Janier's Henri. Those will hurt.
Are nasty. Henri does not have its Hydro on currently.
No, his speed boost just going down means he'll probably slow down enough to let those pass in front of him. They don't have the range anyway.
Okay, so Stalingrad, the OHBOY Stalingrad needs to watch out for the Silverblade Stalingrad of Penta. AP already in the air coming across to the broadside of Eternal Titan.
So Titan puts his radar up.
Titan.
Radar up to find the Holland, and he does.
So Titan's going to have to make one awkward turn. I think there is going to be one dangerous volley coming from Silverblade. Nope, maybe. Nope, he manages to get in behind the island. That's cool. But there's torps coming.
Titan is going to take at least one of these Holland torps. They're absolutely doing a great job focusing on starving. But he does sneak away.
I think that torp actually hit a rock. I didn't see any damage.
You know what? I think you're right. Yeah, I only see 4 in the salvo. It clipped the beach somehow. Still more
Sometimes those
Zaltorps coming
pesky
in.
rocks you get stuck on.
I know, right? The OHBOY retreat. The OHBOY retreat down the 2 line is actually proceeding in pretty good order here. This is going better than I thought it would for them. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, they've recognized the fact that they're against a better force or a bigger force, and they are doing the right thing. They're kiting south, gearing, covering Nevsky. Venezia in the background took a torp there from the Delny, I think, or the gearing. So OHBOY will secure C. That gets them a victory in 5.5 minutes. So it's basically Penta's move now. They're going to rotate the ships back from the top of A. But they need to be really careful, because if they rotate back too much stuff, that enables the OHBOY group of 3 underneath the A cap to turn around and go back in again.
Yep, looks like we're bringing Stalin, Venezia, and Kleber back across the middle of the map. They're going to leave the Nevsky and the Gearing, Vilex, and Kinemod behind to kind of just hold the back door closed and make sure they retain control of A. So now that you're OHBOY, the objective achieved, right? You've got C. Now what?
So if you look at the minimap, you look at map control. Map control with 7 players is kind of tricky because these maps are quite big. And normally you'd be saying things like, oh, well, you need to make sure you're controlling 4 adjacent pizza slices and all these kind of things. But with 7 players, it's a bit tricky. Those tactics really only apply to 9. So they need to make sure they keep hold of these 2 caps to maintain their points income, or they just get far enough ahead on points that then it doesn't matter and they can let go of one. Penta know this, and so they're trying to send the Kleber into C just to block those points, maybe get the cap.
There's Marcelo doing exactly that.
That's going to be under the nose of the Stalingrad's radar.
Which is available, but they have to know that he's coming in on the side of these rocks, and there he goes.
Exactly.
They're putting the radar up. They want to know who they're dealing with.
But you look at where the Kleber is positioned. So Venezia, no shots. Stalingrad, no shots. Halland, no shots. It's only really the Henri. No, even the Henri can't shoot.
Behind that island, he's basically clear.
Yep. So it's just Basti. And they get the cap back.
Wow. Sex Doctor's Holland not able to get back in time to hold it, but they do get back in there to hold the points back now. So nobody taking up C at the moment.
The question is now, do you leave, now the radar's down, do you leave Marcello Pello where he is? Because he's a rush risk for Eternal Titan, though, because if Marcello Pello turns around, he could potentially go and rush Titan from the rear.
Yeah, I feel like you probably don't leave him there. I mean, you're wasting when you bring a Kleber, what are you bringing? You're bringing the speed, the flexibility, the ability to move around the map like this. If you leave him there, you're kind of throwing that away. But his presence there, his existence at that range, as you point out, means that it's something that Titan has to stay frosty for, regardless.
Interestingly, with that C-cap blocked, the points are currently with OHBOY, because they're slightly ahead on points, 678 to 621.
Yeah, about a 40-point lead or so.
So the Halland of OHBOY also needs to be wary of Marcello Pello, because with that reload booster, that Kleber is quite dangerous. But the Kleber also needs to watch out for the Venezia.
Yep, proxy spotting each other now. They're within 2 kilometers on either side of this island, so detecting each other the old-fashioned way. Got to get away for a bit. There come the Zao torpedoes coming in, but Doctor's okay.
So Penta trying, I think, to put a little bit of pressure on the Halland in the cap. They're going to bring Starving Child back. I wonder whether they're going to swap. Put the Halland in the cap to block and bring the Kleber back out again. Because as you said, you kind of need that to be mobile.
Well, no.
Oh, that's interesting.
Child moved.
I've just... Yeah, so Eternal Titans moved off the rock.
Yes, I was going to point out he pulled back. I'm not entirely positive why. It feels to me right now like they're leaving Doctor a bit high and dry, as Titan does take a Citadel right there.
Yeah, I think that was to just make sure that Marcellopello's not going to do that rush.
Yep.
Yeah, Torp's right past his nose. Or tail, sorry.
Yeah, but their proxy spotted again. That's going to allow his teammates to get shots on him. Doctor having to play a very, very dangerous game here with Marcello.
So Penta still lose on points here with this blocked cap. They need to either remove the Halland or they need to start killing things.
They've got 5 minutes. I mean, there's plenty of time.
So one thing that these players, these are very experienced players. One of the things that they're very, very good at is like, don't rush, set up the play, and then execute it well. Don't rush.
Marcello continues to edge around this island to catch glimpses of Doctor just long enough for the Zao shells to go in on him. Right? Just like that, right? They catch a little glimpse of each other. The Zao fires, and now Doctor has to move.
Occasional chip damage on a Halland, because it's got 4 heals left.
Fair. What I don't understand is what Titan is doing. I'm not understanding why they brought him so far back.
I think they've moved it so that the radar's still covering the cap, so they're still able to support the Clemmer or the Halland with the radar, but there's no risk of being rushed by the Kleber.
Now, they have done a pretty good job of whittling down Silverblade Stalin in the middle of the board, right? He's actually probably the lowest thing on the board for Penta, and he is.
If I were OHBOY right now, I would be desperately trying to get as many guns on that Stalingrad as possible. You can actually see the Henri pushing back towards the cap here, and I think that's intended to get that reload booster from the Henri onto Silverblade.
Looks like it, as Genier does start opening up with his reload booster going, trying to get, I guess, presumably more fires lit on Silver.
Yep. Full burn duration on a Stalingrad, double fire or triple fire will definitely hurt. That's a single fire on the nose there.
The Henri's Hydro is down is not on, as he is pushing in to this Kleber torpedo salvo, but he navigates that handily. What I'm waiting for is the Zao AP salvo.
Basti is pushing up into the cap. That's interesting. I wonder whether they're going to try and get rid of Marcellopello.
I think maybe they're just bringing Doctor some help, which he could probably use, honestly. He's been very alone out there.
With where that Henri's going, I'm kind of wondering whether they're going to just try and push the Kleber out. I'm not sure. Oh, no, the Henri's 10.
It's going to be tough.
I did wonder whether they were going to do some kind of push there. But
now, Titan is cut back to where he's now throwing AP across the board at Kinemod and Blood Legend. I think that Penta is pushing for these kills because the Nevsky and the Gearing, particularly Depa, are running out of room. Depa's already in J1.
Yeah, we haven't paid much attention to this side of the map, but those 2 red ships have been pushed right down into that bottom corner. They're literally running out of map.
Yeah, they're about to have nowhere else to go.
So it's going to be maybe a trade between Velix and Tractor here in the 2 Gearings. Velix has gone unspotted in the smoke.
And Nevsky radar is down, so they have no eyes on him. They're firing blind. They do get a big kill. Oh, but it is a trade.
Stalingrad, Eternal Titan, from across to the middle, gets that last kill. That's great. That's a good trade.
And the smoke, for the moment, does cover Depa, although he has completely run out of map.
Yep, so these 2 cruisers are just going to push. There's no way that Nevsky can get off that border in time before they get spotted again, I don't think.
We missed a little bit of action here. Marcello's down quite low now, so he took some more damage. Last time I looked, he was still at about 3/4. Doctor having to dodge more torpedoes, and does. But he's in the middle of trying to throw shells across the map. It's Silverblade, and taking some return fire of his own, now getting very low.
Now, Marcello is backing up and going forward, and backing up and going forward, like you said, to try and keep spot. And there's a lot of torpedoes being thrown towards that corner, so we need to keep an eye on those. Those ones are okay.
Return fire going in on Starving Child, who is out of heals. Yep, there goes the Nevsky.
Goes down at the bottom as expected. That flips the points into post 900 for Penta here.
Still 2 minutes. There's still time for OHBOY to get back in this game, or at least pick up a kill. And Silverblade has been the pick target for a while, but they haven't been able
Yes.
to convert.
Silverblade's just been sitting in the middle of the map, just taking it on the chin over.
Very,
and over
very
and
taking it
again.
on the chin is exactly the right word too.
Like you were saying earlier, like Stalingrad is a good battleship replacement. Although it burns for a long time, it does, tank pretty well for a cruiser.
Everybody in this game is getting pretty low on heals at this stage. And
So
lulls.
the,
Zhao is out of heals. Sex Doctors.
team-
Holland is out of heals.
The team healths are neck and neck. It's 100k to 93k at the moment. With Penta having one more ship. The destroyers and sea still vying for position here, both down to 6k-ish.
I'm a little surprised that OHBOY seems to be trying to pick... Oh, I see. They're trying to... Okay, they're trying to defend the B cap, which is their only source of points at the moment.
Yeah, so Blood Legends just stepped onto that to try and accelerate the points. The
gap,
difference.
at least. Yeah.
Because then if something goes wrong and they lose one of the caps, like if they lose Marcello Pello, for example, it doesn't matter.
Under 60 seconds now. Silverblade lit again. His last radar going out. I'm sorry, not his last radar.
OHBOY have to get that kill. 43 seconds, 39 seconds.
If they can't bag this kill... Oh, 600 hit points.
Is there another volley that can get in? The Venezia's fired.
Venezia's reloading. Yep, he's got more shells in the air. They have to kill the Stalin.
998.
They don't get it. Oh my god!
Did they get the kill?
No, he didn't. He missed. I think he missed the either he missed the shells or they were still in the air when time ticked over. Wow.
I love it when the match ends. You're like, what happened?
Wait, who won? Who won?
Well, the answer to that question is Penta.
They did indeed.
So, Penta beating OHBOY in straight games. Not easy games, though.
No, that second game. You know, you and I over the years have seen a lot of things on Tears of the Desert. I'm not sure I've ever seen a match quite that back and forth, that positionally dependent, positionally challenged isn't the word. Like, there was stuff going on everywhere. And usually Tears, in my experience, doesn't play that dynamically. But it did that game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the things, like I was saying yesterday, with the 7v7 format rather than 9v9 for something like King of the Sea, is that because there's more space on the map, it allows ships to rotate around a bit more easily.